Bonjour, je suis Not Manly, et ici le cours d'espace je ne sais quoi. Hello, Not Manly here, and welcome to part 6 of the Je ne sais quoi space race. Here we are getting one of our next milestone contracts and also our secret contracts, our rescue contracts. Here we're going to try to pick up Julie Kerbin from the Dressian National Rocketry Association. The DNRA is actually run by the Dressian Exploder, the host of this challenge. We're also going to try to pick up Roberta Lynn Kerbin from the Lathe Initiative, and they are the host of the Discord. Wait a minute, that's the wrong flag. I'll be right back. That's better. Anyway, this is the host of the Discord for the Je ne sais quoi space race, the Lathe Initiative, and Roberta Lynn Kerbin is another rescuee we're going to go pick up. Sorry, couldn't find a bigger flag. Hey, no worries. Anyway, these rescue contracts were real. All I did was change the agencies and change the names of the Kerbals. We need to wait till mission control is fully upgraded before we can go get Roberta's contract. In the meantime, let us prepare the rescue craft. This is a variant of the Gemini, sort of, that brought up to orbit Valentina and Doug Kerbin. We're going to try to cram a Probodobodyne Octo aboard there so that we can send this craft up without any crew aboard. That way we can go pick up Julie and Roberta without any issues. There we go. We're just making everything, make sure everything's all lined up here. I got a blader on the bottom there only because I know this craft is stable in one direction. We don't need that monopropellant either. In the meantime, our moon probe is in the sphere of influence of the moon, and we're getting ready for an ejection out to Minmus. But I've got over 600 meters per second here, and I'm wondering, can I shorten the travel time over to Minmus? So I make an attempt at a maneuver that is going to go completely against Kerbin's rotation rate. This will be retrograde in relation to Kerbin. Anyway, so we'll try to get to Minmus ahead of schedule. Looks like it'll be 8 days before we can get out here. And there we go. So we'll catch up with this probe when it enters Minmus's sphere of influence. We'll set an alarm for when it changes. There we go. In the meantime, mission control is almost upgraded. 1 second, 0 seconds, and there we go. We can now pick up the Gemini sort of 2, and we can rescue Roberta Lynn Kerbin. We've also got a whole mess of other contracts. First, EVA, where we transmit. Soft landing on the moon. Impact the moon. Orbit for 1 week. I've got a special plan for that orbit the 1 week. And hey, look at this. Since we've been to the moon, they want us to bring back some moon rocks. Okay, we'll take that. Here we are. We're waiting for one of the 2 derelict craft to get above the Kerbal Space Center before we can do our launch. That way we're not wasting a bunch of time trying to rendezvous with these guys. And here we go. Julie's craft looks like it. She's first. On a lonely planet, slowly spinning its way to damnation amidst the incompetence and utter carelessness of lesser space programs, one team stands resilient against the herds, putting their lives on the line to aid those previously unaware of the quick save option. Yes, it's the incredible adventures of Chris Kerbin and his brave team of Kerbinauts. They are the Blunderbirds, saving the Kerbal race one stranded explorer at a time. And here we are trying to go and save Julie Kerbin from the clutches of the Dressian National Rocketry Association. This is the second version of the Gemini sort of, which are going up for a very efficient gravity turn here. By the time we get up to low space, we'll be still on that stage and we'll be able to begin circularizing our orbit. And there we go. We actually launched ahead of Julie's craft. So what we're going to do is we're going to climb, we're going to raise our apoapsis so our orbit is actually slower. And we're just going to keep going until that intersect 2 gets within, say 10 kilometers should be fine. We'll be able to adjust our approach as we get up there. Okay, 4. There we go. And then we get up there, we got no problem. Our intersect is actually going to be less. We're trying to adjust our approach. Hey, 1.7, that's good enough. But, Julie's been crammed up there for some time. Let's see if we can make the trip to this craft a little easier on her. And there we go. Now, Julie Payette is an engineer, a real-life engineer for the Canadian Space Agency. She retired some time ago and she is now serving as the Governor General of Canada. So, way to go, Julie Payette. We're gonna go pick up Julie Kerbin in her honor. We don't quite have the rendezvous, but hey, you know, when we get Julie aboard here, we'll be able to go pick up Roberta, and then we'll be able to fulfill that milestone. We've saved Julie, and then we're going to send her up to our rescue craft. There we go. Get up there, Julie. We got fresh snacks aboard, and fresh water, and anything else you might need aboard that craft. And she's going to need it too, because we didn't know it at the time, but Julie's got some long-term plans up here. There we go, with the Dressian flag strapped to her backpack. Get aboard there, Julie, and because Julie is an engineer, we have access to Kerbal Engineer readouts. And there she goes. So I didn't know it yet, but I went to target Roberta's craft. Right, and then I'm trying to figure out, okay, how do we go and rendezvous with Roberta? We've only got 160 meters per second and change here. We can't just spend it on ridiculous amounts of orbital maneuvers here. So I try, okay, you know what, it's going to take a while, why am I wasting delta V? And at the same time, well, we've got this endurance milestone here. We need to have a Kerbal up in orbit for 7 days, so why not wait 6.5 days to catch up with Roberta's craft? And you know what, we can take care of that milestone at the same time. Hey, we're in no rush, Roberta will hang in there for some time. Hey, let's just check that out. Let's see, okay. Where is that? Okay, here we go. Oh, the timer is counting down. That is good because we've got Julie Kerbin aboard there. So hey, let's just set a Kerbal alarm clock entry for that maneuver there that I put in their place. A mere 9 meters per second and change. And we'll catch up with them later. And while we're waiting for that, we do have an EVA contract. Now, we have sent back lots of EVA reports already, but the milestone requires us to get an EVA from low orbit and transmit the information back rather than bringing it back to the surface. So, okay, fine, let's just review that. We'll transmit. We stuck an antenna on there for that purpose. There we go. Let's check the status of that contract. Come on, status of the contract. Okay, we've completed our transmit. All we gotta do is bring Julie back home safe. Not bad at all. We'll be able to get a lot accomplished on this trip. In the meantime, we have earned enough funds that we can upgrade the R&D building. That is a significant amount of change. Let us get that going. In the meantime, Orbiter 2 has been fully constructed, and we're going to try to get Chris Kerbin some orbital experience. Notice I say try to. Notice anything missing from this craft? I'll give you a moment to figure it out. If you figure it out, raise your hand and let me know what's wrong. This is the same craft that we sent Bob Kerbin up onto orbit with. But you notice there's something missing here. We don't have any control surfaces on this craft. You bet. Yeah, Chris has got no way to control this thing once it gets up to a certain speed, and well, that happened. Oh my goodness. At least he's separated away from the rocket cleanly. We'll be able to deploy that chute and bring him back to the surface nice and safe. I ended up trying this about 2, 3, 4 times, and I just gave up. Ended up returning the craft back into the spaceplane hangar to try to stick some fins on there. Anyway, decouple that, and now we can bring him back home safe. So we're giving up on Chris for the moment. In the meantime, we have waited the requisite 6.5 days, and we're getting ready to do our maneuver to try to catch up with Roberta's craft. Again, here we go, Kerbal Engineer, not a problem. This doesn't actually bring us too close, well 16 kilometers, but hey, we can do some maneuvers from there. We still have a little bit of delta V, we got 160 no, we got 160. As we approach Roberta's craft, we spend some of that delta V to slow down with relation to our target. Roberta Lynn Kerbin is a doctor, and she was the first female astronaut Roberta Lynn Bondar was the first female astronaut for Canada, for the Canadian Space Agency. She performed experiments aboard the US Space Shuttle. She's long since retired, but she still gives speeches trying to inspire young women to participate in science and technology. And here is Roberta Lynn Kerman being rescued in Roberta Lynn Bondar's honor. There we go, Roberta, proudly bearing the flag of the Lathe Initiative, soon to be bearing the flag of the AEK. Get aboard there, Roberta. Julie's been waiting 6 days for you. Go keep her company. What else can I say? Roberta Lynn Bondar is not a nut job. She spent time aboard the US Space Shuttle working in the space lab learning about space medicine, and she never pepper sprayed a co-worker while wearing a diaper. We salute Roberta Lynn Bondar, she didn't leave her marbles in space. And let's see if Julie's completed the rendezvous contract. Look at that, we have completed that contract. All we gotta do is bring them back home safe, but we still have a few hours before the endurance contract expires, about 6.5 hours. So we're going to set another Kerbal alarm clock entry, and then we'll catch up with the ladies when they've expired that time. Then we can bring them back home safe. At least I hope we can bring them back home safe. I haven't tested the stability of this craft with the Probodobodyne Octo aboard. Anyway, there we go. Oh, 5 hours, 35 minutes. Come on, type that in there. There you go. 5 hours, 35 minutes later, we'll catch up with the ladies and then we'll bring them back home safe. In the meantime, the moon probe is on its approach to Minmus, and I get ready to transmit some science. We're still in Kerbin's sphere of influence. I didn't realize this. Hey, I thought we were catching Minmus science, but no, we're catching Kerbin science still. It was good that we got it though. We didn't get any high space science for these items just yet. We'll wait for those batteries to recharge aboard the Rovemate. Almost. Okay, let's check our approach. Okay, not bad at all. Be pretty high above Minmus, but that's okay. They'll give the Rovemate a chance to give us a look around. Let's transmit. There we go. And now we have a little bit of high space science above Kerbin. Now we'll just wait till we enter Minmus's sphere of influence. Oh, come on, the suspense is killing me. Let's make sure those batteries are fully charged before we do that. Why not? No target. That means we have entered Minmus's sphere of influence. There we go. We got a flyby going. Well, that has unlocked all of the other Minmus-related milestones that we'll catch up with in a bit. There we go. Temperature science. Not bad. 14 science. Wait for those batteries to recharge, and then we'll get some pressure science. Log pressure. There we go. Transmit. Now we've got all the science we can from Minmus at the moment. Best all we can do now is let this craft do its thing. We have got a mere 3 meters per second and we're not going anywhere with that. But we do have KerbNet. Because we have the Rovemate and the Rovemate has a 100% detection rate of anomalies, let's try to look for these anomalies here on the surface of Minmus. That one appears to be in that crater there. There we go. Minmus Object 1, and we'll name the other object Minmus Object 2 for when we actually send some probes out here to land. And there we go. Minmus Object 2. That is the end of the moon probe mission. It'll be drifting lazily around Kerbin's orbit for quite some time unless it crashes into a moon. Anyway, we can now collect these contracts. Uh-oh. We're only allowed so many contracts of each type. Okay, we'll have to watch for that, so we'll pick that up after we bring the ladies back from space. That'll be fine. In the meantime, we did pick up another 90 science, and I picked up the escape tower and that 1.75 heat shield, because we'll need that for the Mark II pod. Now here come the ladies. The endurance contract is almost over. Only a few seconds to go. There we go! Julie has spent 7 days in space. We can now bring her back, and we can bring her partner Roberta back as well. come on. Let's get that alarm out of there. We don't need that alarm anymore. Ah, yeah, there we go. Close that. So we go to deorbit this craft. End up going down to 50 kilometers? Yeah. Yeah, 49. I can't read that. Anyway, yeah, 49. So this is going to be a little longer re-entry than I had hoped. So I'm a little worried about this craft. It's going to end up spending a lot more time in the upper atmosphere at high speed. Now, we didn't burn up when we brought Valentina and Doug back home, but I'm not as sure about this craft. Here we go, trying to keep it pointed straight, at least for now, until we can catch some air. Come on, ladies, we want to get you back home safe. Okay, looks like the craft is stabilized some. Now we can just let go of the stick and see what happens. That pod, Roberta's pod, has gotten pretty hot there. It's glowing. Oh, a temperature gauge. And we're still pretty high up. In desperation, I tried to do a spin maneuver. Say, hey, Julie, spin that pod. Distribute the heat evenly if you can. We need to keep Roberta safe. We need to keep both of you safe and get you guys back. It seems to be working. Okay, you know, having fun up there, ladies. I hope you're okay. At least your craft is staying together. But I'm wondering if that's not enough to keep this thing from exploding. Look at that. We are still picking up heat and we're still picking up speed. Nope, we are slowing down, but we're awfully high and we're awfully fast. I got the temperature highlighter enabled now. Look at the edge of Roberta's pod. You see how the edge of that is catching part of that shock cone? As a result, it is catching much more heat than it should, and it's already glowing yellow hot. Even that heat shield's starting to complain. And even Julie's pod is starting to complain. Come on, ladies, we don't want you to explode. Come back safe. Come on. Come on, oh, come on. We had a temperature gauge there for a moment. Oh, come on. We slow down to stock speed and whew. All we got to worry about now is that high dynamic pressure. We are coming down really, really hot and oh, thank goodness for that. Well, don't think we'll be using this design again for some time. Come on, ladies. Let's get you back splashed down safe. Well, let's see where we ended up anyway. I tried to deorbit directly behind, and we actually were ahead by about 10 degrees. No, about good 20 or so degrees. We'll have to deorbit later to try to pinpoint our landings better. Splashdown! Thank goodness! Whew. Alright, let's see what we got. We got our messages up there. We should have completed a whole bunch of milestones. There we go, orbit for 1 week. Way to go, Julie Kerbin. You survived for a week in space. First rendezvous. Julie rendezvoused with Roberta and brought her back. First EVA that was transmitted. And here we go. No more signs for returning the craft, but that's okay. Julie and Roberta are nice and safe. Oh, I think that'll be enough rescuing for this playthrough. We got 6 crew, evenly matched gender-wise, so should be fine. Anyway, we can now pick up the soft landing on Minmus, and look at that, first docking. We already have a story contract for that, hey, but we'll take that. Let's take a look at the milestones that we've achieved so far. We've got a long list to do, but hey, let's look at what we've achieved so far. Let's see. First flight 1. Okay, upper atmosphere 2, Kármán line 3, 4, sound barrier 5, satellite 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Not bad, we are two away from completing the space race, but until we get to that point, I'm not manly. Fly safe.